Okay. Good afternoon, all. Able to do the sign development. So, like to be purely practical and based on the second assessment, all of you should be able to do what we are going to practicalize today. This course, software engineering, is meant to equip you with the skills that you can be able to use. Uplift your own businesses. If you have your own business, maybe you have your business and you want to make it to have an uplift, right? Then secondly, if you don't have business and you want to work with certain organizations, will give you the skills and the capacity to be able to work with those companies in terms of first of all review the submission of most of you. So who wants us to view his the name? Alia. Alia. Let me even close the submission. Alia. Let me view the Excel sheet. I didn't capture email, so yeah, let me do search like this. I couldn't see anything earlier. Any other name? Now let me have the second name. SHER. Still. Did you try and use your first name or last name during the submission? Okay, because this is the folder that I have for the submission. Shouldn't see to see your name. All I can see, most of you start the folder names or the file names start with Python. Some people even wrote it in a paper. Some even submitted their passport, for God's sake. So you see different type of students. Well, I think going through to find your name is taking us a bit of time, and we want to. Okay, this. And see what you have for us. Okay. So let me get it here. Okay, let me open with my PyCharm to see what I earlier have. Okay, so we are loading Alia's projects to see what she have submitted. Let's open the first file, data type. So practical one. Okay. Good. It's like what you did was to combine all other part of the assignment in the two folders, right? In the two files, which is good. But I have seen some of you, what you've done is then you created a file, which is the best approach. Because for now, if I have these, how many lines of code? Lines of code. So if I'm to run this, I'm going to have a lot of exception, error, because some will be conflicting with another. So, but the best is for each of the solution and then make the submission. But like I've said, whether you do it that way or this, the best practice is the best. When you apply the best method, even yourself, but I like it. If you can be able to go through all that and run the program by your, you guys are ready for today's lectures. So why giving this as believe you me, the first day we had the lectures, I mentioned that this class engineering is meant for everybody who is part of this training. Data science, cyber security, if you don't know how to write computer code, you cannot, right? And if you have done it by yourself, not just copying and documentation, you won't understand the beauty part of it. But if you have study the workflow, and then I believe you are ready for today's practical. But if you haven't done that, you can still go back and do it. And for those of you that have submitted, it's fine and good. Fine and good. Fine and good. Right? If you just copy, paste, save the files, please go and study the documentation. You will understand the importance of it until we start today's lectures. This is good. Any of you that have separated his file here? Okay, you separated them. Methodology to separate each file, to save each problem on a different file. Okay, so a very good one. The same way of alias or one that I've done conform manner. So this is very good. Complain that some cannot even be able to run the program on their computer. Especially things that have to do with practical. I tell you this, 75% of the practical aspect of what you are expected to learn is what? The roadmap, the foundation, and the guideline. With that, you should be able to do it very well yourself. Like giving you this documentation. Apply a very good time. You sit for good 5 hours or 3 hours. Believe you me, you will learn a lot. Right? So excellent. So today, we are going to go through this documentation on how we, and the essence of the application is to collect as a software engineering student, the first stage of you learning how to apply creating a crude application. What is crude application? I believe you've done this with Mr. Hayat, right? What is crude? This. Right? So fundamentally, a student of that can perform, right? So now we have this guideline. Although I'm not going, I want you to code with me. Whatever I'm doing, I want you to. If you have what do you call it? If you have PyCharm, or you have VS Code, or you have any of the IDEs, please, I want you to work with me in this practical. What I want us also to do, the practical is in two ways. The first way is the simplest part, which a lot of you have done it. I have seen it from your first. While the second part is applying the knowledge of what you learned during the second, more functionality. Like after we have created this application, we want to be able to store it in a database. Have you discussed anything database with Mr. No? Wow. Did you discuss database with Mr. Hayat? Did you discuss database? Wow. Because what we are doing is writing Python code and then integrating it with a database. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. If you say yes, let me see your hand. If you have done anything database, okay, you haven't. You haven't. In theory, right? You've done it. Excellent. So if you have done it in theory, although we still have additional module that discuss more on database, we are going to use a database to create a simple Python Django application. Like I've said, maybe time will not permit us to complete the application, but believe you me, at the end of the day, a Python program up and running. All right. Are you all ready? We have two ways to create the two methods. One of the methods, for those of you that are using PyCharm, you don't have to struggle. Different types of IDE. We have the intelligence one that can be able to do. Then we have the one that you have to do it manually by yourself. But what we do is we are going to, because you have to learn the two-way. If you don't have, craft tips yourself and make it work. So before then, I want to ask you, that's on the line. If you don't have Python, you don't have Django installed, you cannot be able to do what we are going to do now. Do you all have Python and Django? If you don't have it, let me see your hand. That means all of you do have Python and Django installed on your machine. So if you don't have, we are going to use this for those that doesn't have Python Django. That means they haven't done, because the assignment have guided you through how you can be able to install Python on your computer, right? Great. So if you don't have, you haven't done the assignment, go and do it. Go and do it. When you do it, you should be able to set up that. So like I align myself with this documentation. I'm going to open my terminals and also align I have, which is called student projects. After the class, I will share it so that you can have it, but I want you to follow with. So the first one that you need to do is not documented. First time we had a practical lectures, I said you should always create a folder. You should always do all your projects. Whether it's a project, you can try thousands of projects. That helps you to organize yourself. Are we good? Good. Folder called ideas projects. Folder, you can give it any name, but this is my undefined name. The name doesn't matter. Your file. Excellent. I have created my folder. So I have MacBook terminal. I always have it here. I must go into that folder I've created in my desktop environment, right? I'll go through the desktop computer, Windows computer or MacBook. So are we good now? Okay, so let me say it again. Was to create a folder in our desktop, and I open my terminal. I CD to my desktop. We are changing directory. Change directory. I'm changing Mac into my desktop where So I also have to do cd again, ideas project. Maybe I can do ls. If you have Windows, you do what? dir. See list of directories you have. dir, you see the list of directories. So what I have ideas projects. cd ideas, right? I hit enter and I'm inside. Should I come back again? Folder. Okay, let me delete this one. I don't need it. So let me just make, please change your folder names to ideas. Are we good? I've changed it. The essence of the folder, like I've said, is for us to be able to organize. Remember the first lectures we had practically was having a folder. And I advise you that if you are doing your assignment, you should create a folder also and put all the file inside. That's all what you did, right? Excellent. So the same process have to apply here. To cd in, we need to enter inside the folder. I've said if you have Windows computer, MacBook, the same process. Are we together? Open my terminal. If you open your command prompt, also this is something that you can see on. Are we all together? Let me see if you're with me. So I want to open the folder that I've created in my desktop. So I need to do cd. What is cd? Okay. I cannot see it. Terminal. Let me size so that they can be able to see us there. From 24 to so I have stop. Now I have to cd into the folder called ideas, right? Into the folder that I've created called ideas. So cd ideas, I believe it's in capital letter inside. So there's nothing inside this folder. It's an empty folder. So now we are going to create a project. We want to be able to collect all your data and store it in the application so that the number of students we have, with their email addresses and their phone number, we can be able to data. Are we together? Good. So I have these. So first, that's what I've said. So before you can be able to run this command, so we need to run is to create a project. When we say creating a project, Python, combining them to create a project, they have a structure. Each programming language you are using to have a structure of how application can be developed. So when you use this command that I've highlighted, it helps you to craft all the requirements. And if you are running this command, make sure you have a. If you don't have internet connection, you may end up having some other library downloaded. So I recommend you have an internet connection, because when you run the command, it will create the project. Itself. Gradually, you'll be able to memorize all the command. But believe me, guys, or a kind of a podcast with one of the senior developers, senior software, Google senior with over 10 years of experience, 10 years of experience in the field of software engineering. He says, guys, by software developers, the code they use is not written by them. It's just pure one research. It's just like in the academic environment, what you're doing, you're not creating something new, but right? Similarly, as a software engineer, don't say that know all the code. No. When you know the structure, the methodology, able to do your research and build a very comprehensive and robust software is an added advantage for you to be able to know how to that. Let's be checking here so that we don't lose our friends that are. Means when you want to start a project, what you need to do first is to what? Dash admin start project, and then you give the dash admin start project, then the project name. Are we together? In the Python and the Django install that, guys, a complete project structure for me based on Django when it comes to developing a software solution. They have another one called Plex, and other software developers even do it by themselves, develop their own using any of these framework. So is our way of developing software solution. You can decide for your project, but believe you me, over the years, before, if you are traveling like 100, they have to either trek or use donkey or use. But today, because we need speed, we use a lot of mediums, right? Similarly, when you come to computing, you have a libraries, you need to have a toolkit, you need to have a support, right? So Django is what? It's a framework. When you say a framework, it means 5,000 lines of code. I will just write 5 to 10 lines of code and I will have that achieved. Do you understand? So the library, it means it's an existing solution that can support you in developing your own done before. Just copy it, add on top of it, and move ahead. That's why I said, even in the academic environment, universities, research, few experts that develop something new. Or what we've been using or what they're doing is what? Adding more value, modifying. Are we together? So to do it, we type in Django-admin start project. Is that how you spell desktop? For Mac, you can provide with. In Windows, you have to provide it with, if the first letter is capital, you have to make it capital. Are you having the same problem? How many of you having the same issues? Only 2 of you can sort it. We don't have enough time. Sorry? That's your own. So that means you haven't done the assignment, right? If you are sure you've done the assignment, it means you've installed Django. Please, guys, and some minutes to be able to wrap up this practical for today. So are we here inside the folder, you type in what? What the command? Django start project. What the project name? You can put. How about that? Say, sort out yourself for these people. You see it? Django start project. And the project name is what? So hit enter on your keyboard. Have an internet connection in case, right? So I have run my project. So let project has been created. To confirm if the project structure, to confirm if the project has been crafted, if you are on Windows, you use what? List of the folders. If you are on Mac, you use what? ls. So I'll hit ls. You see it? I have student management. Are we together? Now the next thing I need to do is to make sure that this is a project, right? Complete different, it's different from having a sub project. You can have a large project that entails a lot of things. We can have a lot of things. First, we can have student records. That is why we say student management. Names, their emails, and the rest. Also, as time goes on, maybe we can see. Maybe as time goes on, we can search, we are going to give these student computers. Maybe as time goes on, student certificates, student verification. It means a project can have what? Means, guys, when you have a Django project or any other project you are doing with any of the programming language, you can have one project that can. When I say modules, it means sub-projects under it, right? I hope I'm making sense. Excellent. student management, we are going to create an application. We have created a project. Anyone with the same issue? How many of you having the same issue? 2 of you. So what I showed first is this. I've clearly said it. Note, Python and Django will be installed below guideline. That means you haven't achieved that. If you have done that, you will not have that error. You won't have that problem. Believe you me, guys. Did you run this? Did you run? So look at the. Be careful on how you type in the command. If you type in the command wrongly, so now what we need to do next, a lot of what? Application under this student management, right? Create a student. To create a student, we have to move inside. Are we together? So we have to do CD, student management, and you hit enter on your keyboard. Are we all following? So to also confirm if we are inside the same folder, we do ls or d. Excellent. It means I'm inside student management because I have an extra file here called manage.py. Now, this manage.py is a kind of engine command in terms of creating a Django application. So to create a new application, that means we have to run this command. Right? Because don't forget, I said this is what? Like an engine. Manage.file is like what? An engine that can help us Django. Are we together? If you delete the manage.py, nothing will work. Okay? So, an application for the student, we have to run the command python manage.py start app. When you create one project, they are good. You can create a lot of applications under it. So Python app space student or any other name you want to give it. So let's go back. So we have, right, manage.py start app develop. So the name of our app is what? Student. So I believe you can see this. This is intentional. Do you have, how many of you do have this error? Running start new app. Start new app. How many of you are facing the same challenge? Where you are writing, you have the same challenge. Syntax error. Excellent. How many of you having the same? None? Good. You right? So check your statement very well. You are missing something. But I want us to address this. You will face this challenge, right? A lot will face this challenge. Important. As a programmer developer, you should have this skill. So you should have these skills. What is the skill? The skill for you to be able to what? See a problem, research and see a problem, research and find a solution. What did I mention? I mentioned that 80% of code written by others. So what you are doing is what? You are doing research to craft your own. So this is what I want us to do. I've seen a lot of you, by just writing a syntax, it means as a developer, you should have that discipline to be able to source for solution on you should have the solution to what? The solution on your own. If you don't have the patience, if you don't have the skill for solution, you cannot write programming. I mean, you cannot develop solutions. Missing a comma in your just you miss a comma can cause you pipe this. It's working, but why is not working? But if you can have the to research on your own to look for the solution, you can be a developer. Now, what we have here is a problem called what? Environment, or ENB. It's a kind of a virtual place. It's a virtual so it's a kind of a folder that needs. And when you create that folder, the folder, guys, will help you to store all. Talk about libraries, right? What is a library? I talk about library, I talk about written code that can fast-track how you write your code, right? It's a kind of folder that will be storing all those collections that will support you in developing your own software. This is our project, we don't have it. Are we together? It's two ways. That is why I said I will start with the hardest part. The first way is to have integrated development environment can help you to create all, just like you creating a Microsoft Word document. You have it. That is why I said it's good for you to do it on your own. So now you have to a virtual environment. Virtual what? Environment. How to create a virtual. What did I say? Any other one? Yeah, a full libraries. All the libraries, all the packages that can help you to fast-track. It will be what? Reside inside. Now, let me ask this question. Have any of you, because I have seen a lot of you created the Python application, have virtual environment on their own? Have any? Okay, that means you are not part of this assignment or challenge. Anyone? Anyone created virtual environment? Please, I want to put it as a challenge. 5 of you, sir is saying that syntax error, is saying this. How do you address it? Areas that you need to learn. We have plenty grammar here. You see it? But as a developer, that is where 80% of the code we write is not our code. So what on your own? So as long as this is a problem, could install and is available on your Python environment variable, or did you forget to activate the virtual environment? It means two things. It's accusing me of not installing Django, right? Maybe I haven't installed Django. Number two is accusing me of. Number three is accusing me, even if I install the virtual environment, even if I have the Python, that means processes, that means you need to do a research on how to address this. So how do you do the research? How many methods? How can we ask this question? Will I be able to say, sir, if not working, that my friend can be able to do it, go and meet him. How do we solve it ourselves? Not you, somebody. Yeah, how do you solve it? Thank you. So excellent. I believe when you're studying those environments, I mean, when you are reading the documentation, you've seen something like this, right? Exception, and error. What we are facing now is what? An error, exception. What is exception? Whereby you are not intentional because writing code, clean code. Have you done that? The clean code. But for you to be able to handle something that you haven't planned, exceptions are errors that you've never expected. Is something like this is an error, but you haven't planned that, okay, this may happen. But if you can error on your own without the error causing your application, then the second part is the skills of you to be able to solve problem, to look at issues, solve your issues on your own without disturbing other people who are experts. If you want to solve an error while writing code, the most beautiful way, some people will copy the important part of it. That means you have to use what? Google search engine. What again? Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow. Reddit. I don't support Reddit. What is ChatGPT? GPT. Chat GPT. What again? Check your what? These are all the methods you know. Maybe you can contact your friend. But you are lucky here, you are just learning with teacher, but what of is doing sub-learning? You don't have teacher, right? You are learning on your own. But let's add it, ask your teacher. Yeah, forums, right? Excellent documentation, but I hate documentations. Discord, that's the Slack. Let's see Slack, right? That's what we have. Okay, so these are few and there are a lot of them. So it means, guys, when you are writing code, somebody have experienced the same challenge you have. This error we have, somebody have experienced it. This one, this error that you face or you are encountering, it has been what? Experienced by somebody. So how do you go about it? Is to follow through these processes and you should be able to solve it on your own. But the error we have, you have to break it down properly. Understand the error. Look at it. This is the main error. In Python, look at this first one. It is what? An import error. That means something has not been imported. To do the research, what I will do is I will just copy only here. From here to here, copy it and use any of these tools here. Anyone. So let's start with Google. Paste it. What do you see? A lot of solutions. Open it and start code. If you don't have the ability on your own, you cannot solve it. Now, before the invent of a lot of access, a lot of forums in solving problems, that you can be able to sort your problem quickly is what? Is Stack Overflow. And even in the there's a trick in Stack Overflow. You see, because a Stack Overflow is a forum. This one will say this, but the appropriate one is proof. So let's go through so that we can learn this. You can see we have 36 answers. So yes, no, so you can just scroll, be going through, no one that has been marked as answered. So it means none. A situation whereby there is no answer that has been marked as correct. How do you do it? You check comments. Guys, this is tactics of software developers. You can be able to track and find out solution on your own. So that means you have to. Somebody will say, yeah, I use this, thank you. Yeah, this worked for me. Yeah, this didn't work for me. Yeah, this did for me. So let's start from the. In this first answer, we have 72 comments, or I can say 72 threads. Now he said, I think the best way to use Django is with virtual environment. And we say virtual environment is what? A folder that we create it to put all our packages, to put all our libraries, to put all our support. Safe, you can install many apps in virtual environment aspects of the system. Uses the names of their system. All these are grammar. So this is his solution. He said you should do what? Install virtual environment. So, but what is this sudo? It's a command that says that I'm the admin of this computer. Mostly on what? MacBook and what? Linux. Can you use sudo on Windows? Are we together? This is important, guys. If you don't know this, okay, either the sudo or pip3. Okay. Now create a packages, blah, blah, blah. Can check the version. So this is his own solution. And what happened here? Appropriate solution. It means if you have a project environment where you install the Django, where very quick. Something what? Very quick. That is why I say this is what? The hardest part of it. If you are developing a, these are part of the challenge you may have. If you have IDEs, it will suggest what to do for you. You are going to experience a lot of challenge. Let me show you using IDE. Close project. So we are going to create a Python project using, because that's the key. If you don't know how to be able to create it on your own, be able to solve your problem, you are still lagging behind. New project, you see, when I select Django, what happened here? In a virtual environment for me automatically. You understand? I don't have to what? Create it on my own. Differences? So these are the keys, these are the tactics you need to have for you to be able to do well, for you to be able to tell you a comma or full stop in. So that means if you don't have that skill of being patient, the skill of going through forums, the skill of it on your own, you say, this is waste of time, I'm tired. So I'll drop this also inside my, okay? And let's see, student data warehouse. So this is the project name I'm calling student what? Data warehouse. Look at it. What happened? virtual environment inside these. I hope you're getting the tactics. That's all you can see. Here is asking me of the interpreter, but let's just move. It's Python or it. You have to have an internet connection, give it on your system speed as well as internet speed. Python project created. Done. During this process, you see, it's installing Django. Have internet connection. Yes. For BS code following, you have to create a virtual environment. I know a lot of you haven't done that, right? Virtual environment. Few. Creating that project, you can be able to run your Python project, but you cannot have because application depend on your virtual environment. So you are connecting with database, you are connecting with interface. So if you don't have the two, it is not going to work. Folder here, look at it. You see my virtual environment? Virtual environment I have. And you know the good part of it? The trick here is when you have one virtual environment, you can copy the virtual environment and dump it in another folder. You don't have to bother about creating a virtual environment. You can copy. It's a shortcut. Learn to do it, okay? In this environment, if I want to, what? If I want to run, it has been created, it has been installed, it has been what? Even if you create the virtual environment, look at it, my virtual environment, EMB. You see it? Means I can be able to run that command and see the reality. Here, where are we? Try to run this command. So if I go back this command or type it manually, what do you see here? If I refresh, I have it. Problem, we have to know how to what? Do it ourselves. Because of what? It's a skills as a software how to solve what? A problem. You must be able to what? Solve it. So let us. So look at the guideline here. It says Reddit. I have never used Reddit for solution. Django forum to solve it. This is can be able to use it. This is problems are there for you to be able to address. But this is the simplest solution we can apply, and you Yes. You have a syntax error and you want error, use your up arrow on your keyboard. Command will come back so I can be able to walk through. Okay. Up arrow, all the command will issues. You should. So now we first of all already have EMB installed on my machine. Who knows about Anaconda? Tutorials like Anaconda is a complete package. Software engineers, cybersecurity experts. So when you have Anaconda, you have all this installed on your machine. When you install it, it will take your money, maybe during the installation, right? You are ready for all those areas, developing, install, you have the libraries, all that. You first need to install what? The so to install the virtual EMB, the same command we have this. So let me clean up all these commands. Make sure that I'm inside here. You see, our EMB folder. So it means should be inside this project folder. You have to run this command to virtual EMB, and then you have. Are you ready to try? How many of you do have? You didn't understand? Okay. We want to create a virtual EMB. We want to address this. This is the error. We don't have either EMB installed or the virtual EMB has not. And what we did first was to copy the error to see list of what. Are we together now? So what EMB have to be inside your. Are we together? It must be created inside. Are we all together? Based on the research we are doing. Like I've said, this is a skills. You research on your own, pip install virtual. Okay. It's part of the research. When you do sudo on either Mac, an administrative command, before the command, type in the password. So I know my password, and you hit enter, it will take for it will. I'm coming. So MacBook, you have Windows, you are typing the. For Windows, you are. What is this? you will tap what? Virtual EM. That's for Windows. Pip install virtual. Pip install virtual. I mean for MacBook. Let me make it clear. MacBook. Sudo. Yes, when you are creating a Django, first of the requirement is environment inside the project folder. Installing it will be inside the virtual environment. You get it? Yes, please. Sorry? Yes. If you have issue, you don't have what? You don't. You understand? You don't have virtual environment. A lot of you doesn't know how to decide your virtual environment inside your project. Virtual environment can be created in any folder for you, and you can make a reference to it and use it. The right way is virtual environment have to be in your project folder. Folder and run it in another computer. Do you understand? Virtual environment, it means, listen, it means any computer need a virtual environment and install all those libraries that you install on the other computer. But when you create the virtual environment, it means anytime you're moving the project, you're packing. Yes. Later. We can discuss about that later. Did you locate inside the project folder before you run that command? The project folder? Excellent. So open the project environment. You should be able to see it there. Let's do it together so that you can see it. So if it's installed, it, right? See it. Together, I mean, what? To create the virtual EMB. The command to create the virtual environment, based on what you are reading, what? You type in what? The name. So you can put it EMB, you can put it project one EMB, something that is self-explanatory as EMB, ENV. So let's go back. This virtual EMB what? Then the name of your when you run it, right? So EM, I have command error, maybe spelling error. I typed it. Look at it. I have one simple. What I have is instead of virtuals, I spell it mistake, right? And when you have a spelling mistake, error in your code. Do you understand? Look at my code. You can spend a week trying to find out what happened. Error. So when you go back and correct it, virtual, then the name of the EMB, you hit enter and you have it created in. After the process has concluded, let us view it. If I do ls, let me clear this. How many folder do I have now? I have my project EMB folder. Are we learning something good? So after this, we have installed the EMB. Next, what is to do what? So you move inside a folder called B. Let me show you these folders. Let's see this together. Where is it? So I want to go inside this EMB and find out EMB C ls, and you see all those folders inside. Right? The activate is a keyword. It's a command. When we do that, you can see something will be added here or here. That has been activated. I hope a lot of you are following. How many? So now I'll go back. I'll have to move out of the EMB. If I want to move out, sorry, dot, hit enter, I'll come out of it. So I'm back inside my project folder. So we need to activate it. To activate, you run this command, source, name of your virtual environment, that folder called bin, and then activate. Let's do it together. Source, name of your virtual EMB, bin, then what? Activate. Let's put it so that those that are following can be able to I think we shouldn't give them this. They should do it themselves. It's part of learning, right? Is that not true? Yeah, they should be able to learn it on their own. So we say what? Source, name of the EMB, slash bin, slash what? Activate. So let's go back. So let's do it. Source, space, what? What next? The name of the what? EMB is called EMB, slash bin, slash activate. You hit enter. This is what I tell you. You see it? It means my virtual EMB has been activated. By having this, you are good to go. But if you don't have this, I tell you nothing will work. So the next thing is to install Python inside, Django inside the virtual environment. Are we together? We need to install Django inside the virtual environment. How do you do that? How do you install Django in our virtual environment? Pip install Django. Always do have internet when running all this type of command. Yes. Yeah, we run it. That's where we're having problem, right? We run start, we run start app student, right? That is why we have problem. And it was an intentional process. That is why I tell you it's two process. If you have an IDE, straightforward. If you don't have an IDE, you must structure your project very well. It means next time if you are creating projects, you know that there are two ways. If you have IDE, you don't have to bother yourself about the manual process. Mm. 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 So this is what happened. When you're installing your, we give assignment, right? And that's why I say not. You must have Python and Django installed. If you have done the assignment, you have done it in a wrong way. That's why I said if you are creating a project, your EMB should be inside the project folder. That means what you did is you install a global virtual environment. Mm. Mm. Already without installing EMB, right? That's what I'm saying. Have you done the assignment? Excellent. So before you can install Django, you must have an EMB first. And during that, your assignment, you install your EMB as a global environment variables. And when you use a global environment variables, anytime you copy that your project to somebody's computer, if that person does not have the global environment variable, the project will not work until you manually created the virtual EMV inside that project folder. I hope you understand. To run it, and it's not, yeah, it should create it. It should be created. Mm. 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 So this is it. If you are using BS Code may have a lot of plugins that can support you and do that. But what I'm saying is, what we are doing is the right way of creating any Python project and Django. If you are creating a global virtual environment, you are making a mistake. You must have your virtual environment inside your project. Yes, sometimes the virtual environment can be heavy, but that's the right way. That right way. Yeah, some expert may say that, okay, having global EMD will save their storage on their computer. Because believe you me, there was a project I was working on. The virtual EMD is around 400 megabytes. I had a lot of libraries, a lot of support installed on it, a lot of packages. So in that note, it means that whenever I want to move the project, I need to have a very larger storage capacity for me to copy it. But that's the right way, guys. Do you understand? Are you clear now? Yes. Hmm. Okay, your own is Windows, right? Who has the same problem? Hmm. 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 Excellent. So maybe I think there's another command in Windows. Excellent. So it's a hidden file. So you need to what? I think from file permission, you can be able to enable it. But don't worry yourself about that. All I want you to understand is this is the process of how you can be able to what? Set up your project clearly. Are we good? Are you good? Okay, sorry, I think it's a different command. This is for Mac, and this is for Mac and Linux. If you have a Windows computer, I think the command is different. The command should be different from Windows. And what command do you have? Did you try and it's working? So please try and is your own working? You are using Windows. What about you? Windows, right? Or Linux? So it should work. It's not activating. What's the error you have? Source, the name of your virtual EMB slash bin slash activate is not working. Hmm? Hmm. How many of you activate is working? This same command on Windows. Let me see your hand off. If your own is working, is your own working? Hmm. Smooth. Listen, why activating the EMB is if your own is global, you don't even have to follow this process. That's what I'm saying. If it's global, if you have already done your assignment and your project is working with no error, you don't have to follow this command. But what I'm saying is the process you followed to install global EMB was wrong. You understand? But still, your project will work. You don't have to do this. You have a global EMB which is activated. Initially, I've told you that I have Anaconda, but I have to deactivate it so that I can be able to demonstrate to you to see different method of doing it. When I was using this, when I'm using this, did I write that command to activate? It automatically activated for me. So that's what we're talking about. So don't be confused. If it's working, you're good. Are we good? Any other question before we proceed? Questions? I'm asking if we have questions. You don't have questions. So that means we can proceed, right? Gospel, how many minutes we have? Hmm? Wow. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, this is software. The lead here, so that you won't say that I'm hijacking his student. 1 hour 30 minutes. Later we can discuss. Okay, 1 hour 30 minutes. So, guys, we are going to wrap up. Normally, this is how my lectures is. We pass through the process, and at the end of the day, that we'll discuss. Now, listen. What we are doing today was for us to be able to create sites that can collect simple data, student ID, email, and phone number, right? But during the process, it was intentional that able to solve problem on their own. And the key things here as a software developer, you must be able to solve your that you're in problem. So to wrap up what we've done today, and under the project we create what? An application, which an application can be called what? Are we together? So that's what we've done. But there's last part that we need to do. The last part that we need to do is to really make sure that when you create the project, you have to run it and see whether it's working or not. It's part of what you need to do today, but due to the we'll have to stop here, unless if you want me to extend. As we extend, let's see, hands up if you want to extend, extension. Let's do, so, I mean, those ones that have, yes, sorry, how do you, so Mac, you can use CLS. For Windows, you use Clear. Let me try and see. CLS, but for Mac, you use Clear, and everything will disappear. It's working for Windows, so you can, excellent. Direction. So I think to answer this question, I'll hold you for 10 minutes, all of you. So I want to wrap up this. Look at it. Are we together? What we've done is this. We've created two different projects. So I'm going to jump into my IDE. It's the same process. Under the project, I have student, right? Under that student, I want to be able to create what? Student management Python code using Django. Already I have provided with the guideline here, which I will share after the class. That is why taking it very fast, it will really help you. But I'm going to skip this area. I just want to show what this guy was asking. We have been doing a lot of coding. He wants to see something. You want to see something. So I'm going to skip here so that next time when we come back, we can be able to dive into that. So when you create a Python project, Python Django, at the end of the day, by default, without writing any of your logic, you can be able to have a running code. Are we together? You should be able to have what? a running code. How do you do that? Is you have to run this command. I'm skipping some of the processes just for you to see it. Right? You need to run this command. Python manage.py, make migrations, Python manage.py migrate. What is this happening? Because you asked me a question that it really you need to be in, motivated. So what this one is doing, the code we are writing in programming, when it comes to Python or like .NET, we have something called database first. That's you are creating your database before the code. Then you have what? Code first. You create the code, and the code will create database for you. So what we are doing now is we are creating the code, and the code will automatically create our database for us. So we are not doing what? Database first. We are doing what? Code first. So based on what you crafted, the database will be generated. And the database we are using here is called SQLite. SQL what? SQLite. We have a lot of databases. I don't know whether you've discussed that with Mr. Hayat. MySQL, SQLite, Microsoft SQL, right? Uh, uh, Oracle database, MongoDB. Which one again? We have PostgreSQL. A lot of them are there. But the one we are going to focus on this project is what? SQLite, because it's easy to learn and you don't have to do the databasing by yourself. Are we good? So we need to run these two commands for this guy to be able to see what he was asking. So this Python manage.py make migration is grabbing all those code you created. Is what? Compiling them all together and then preparing what? A database structure for it. Then when you do migration, it is going to what? Create the database tables. After creating the database tables, some tables will even have data while running these programs, while running this last command, right? So let's do that and see it together. Let's use the PyCharm. So I'm going to write the command. The first one is what? Python manage.py what? Make migration or migrations. So when you run this command, look at what happened. There's no changes. It means we haven't created any new tables. We haven't created any new structure. That's what we wanted to do, to create a field whereby we can collect emails, usernames, student ID, as well as their phone number. But we haven't added anything here, right? So, but we need to make the first initial migration. After this, there's no changes, then we need to what? That's the last command. So when you run this, look at what happened. We have a lot of tables that were created. You see? Table. Already Django has something very beautiful. For those of you that have used some information system, like for those of you that work in the bank or you work in line. Were they able to see the last command? Which command were they able to see? So we have run this command. Then there's one last one, which is Python manage.py run server. What this does for us is what? It creates what? It runs the application for us in a browser. And that is what we are having here. If you go back to the terminal, you click on this. You see it here. Let's copy it and come back to my default browser here. Chrome. So it means if you Django application, but this doesn't make just sense. It's just something clinging. Also, there are extra layers that we need to add, which is what? Adding data, right? Creating a user for us to log in. I want to create a user because Django is a beautiful framework in terms of developing application. By default now, if I do this /admin, do you see what? Did you see this? Did you see this? It has an administration dashboard that you need to log in. Do we do any of this? We haven't. It's done automatically. Part of what we want to cover is adding our own layers, doing it by ourselves. So when you come to this admin, you need to log in, but it won't work because we haven't created any admin. If you try to log in, we don't have. So we need to create an admin. How do you create one? Who can tell me? Who can tell me how to create admin? So let's create an admin. Let's go back to the code. We have to stop the server. How do you stop the server? Control. It's what? Admin. So Python manage.py create super user. Is this super user or admin? I forgot. Okay, so the command is what? Python manage.py create user. So let me go back to the documentation. So this is what we are doing. This is for starting server. Create database structure. Create database tables based on code. This one. Start the application. First of all, I'm offline. Offline. Are they still watching? Okay. But this is telling me, okay. So manage the Spyron server, start forward, start the application. Okay. Then the last one is what? Python manage.py create. Is this user or super user? What this does for us, create create super user, correct? Create login right? Are we together? Python manage.py create super user. This create what? Login details for us. So let's go back and see. After I have run this command, here, or for review purpose, I can quickly review what I've done in that area here so that you can see boldly and for those online. So what we did is, first of all, after having all those pipes in terms of creating uh, uh, virtual EMB and that, we need to first of all do these 4 commands. We need to run them. Let me bring them up. Excellent. We need to run this first command. 4. Creating database structure, creating database tables based on code, start the application, create login details. So I am going to run these 4 commands here on this new application. Don't forget we created 2, right? One manually and the other one using what? IDE. Excellent. So let me run it. Python .py, do what? Make migration. What this does for us? What this one is doing for us? Creating database structure. So you hit enter, but it will show you that there's no changes, right? No change detected because we haven't added any of our structure. So next time when we come back, we are going to create a lot of structure by ourselves, okay? The next process is what? Python manage.py, migrate. What this one is doing for us? Create database and what? Based on the code. So you see these ones? Now, after this one, the next code is to do what? To run the server. So, but this time, before we run the server, let us create user for us to be able to log in. Are we together? So let's do that. Python manage.py, what? Create super user. You hit enter, it will ask you for the username. So my username, let me call it admin. Are we together? Are we following? I'll hit enter. It will ask me for email. Let me just say admin@gmail. Then it will ask me for passwords. I'll give a very simple password, admin. Hit enter. It will ask me to confirm again, admin. It's telling me that this password is too weak. If you type in yes, it means you confirm to go for the weak password. If you type in no, you have to provide us another password that is stronger. Are we good? So I will agree and go with a weaker password. Hit enter. Here I go. I have successfully created a login details. You'll be surprised, we can be able to log in with just this application we developed and create more users. So, but before that, there's something that we need to do. We need to run the server, right? Python manage.py run server. But I think the server will not run because I have another server running. But let me see. I stop it, right? Excellent. So you see, the server has started. The server has started on 27.0.0.1, then colon 8,000. That's it. So if I go to the browser, let's go to our browser and type in that server address. 127. So see it here. This is /admin. And we have created a password for ourselves. and a username called what? Admin. So I'll click on login, and here we go. We have a dashboard. So look at this. In this dashboard, I can be able to add more users to log into this application. That means the next time we are coming back, we can be able to add application for collecting student data, application for generating student certificates, application for doing this, for doing that, any sort of application. We have only 2 apps under this. Sorry, 1 application. The application is called authentication and authorization. It's not created by us. So that means next times when we are coming back, we'll create our own call student, right? We just call it student. Then when we want to add another one, we can add more. So look at good part of it here is, if I want to add another user, I can just click on this button, add, and I can have the user. Let me say super, the password. Here, the password may be strong. I'm trying to see. You see, if I click on save, I have another user. If I log out, I can be able with the username I just created. Let me log in. The username is called super, and the password is known by me. Maybe I have to do another short tutorials on what we've done today. When I get home, I'll summarize it maybe in 10 minutes because I believe we have said a lot. So you see, we can be able to log in, perform a lot of operations. So, but because of time, we don't have enough to discuss further about it. But all I'm saying is, this is how easy it is to create an application with. She asked it for you. Yes. Yeah. We can only add login users, user who can log in. But if we want to collect your data, it is in our next class that will develop our application. That's app. We have created app already, but it's not attached to the dashboard. So in our next class, We're going to do practical on how to create the data collection form and attach it here so that when you log in, you can be able to add that. Guys, with this, you can even develop an inventory system if you have a shop. Yeah, you can develop inventory system. So this one, I think I created this user. I've told you about permission, right? That this user cannot be able to log in. Why? Because this user is not marked as what? Is not marked as what? Admin, as a member tab. So if I want this user to do this, I have to what? Add the permission for this user. You see? You see? But let me just mark this user as what? Super user, and let me add permission that what this user can do. Maybe can add entry. I have to hold control on my keyboard to select more. Shift. Hold shift on your keyboard. Can authenticate. Can add user. Can change this. You can add more. After that, you click here. The permission will be added. And after I do that, I can now save it. If I log out, I should be able to sign in now, unlike before. But what you see here is this user has what? Just limited permission. No, you need to have one super user from the command prompt. But when you have one super user, you can use the user to create more super users from the dashboard. Understand what you're trying to ask. We are using this project. We have used the two. We used the PyCharm, and then we came back and used this one. Yeah, you can use PyCharm and do it. You can use PyCharm, you can use VS Code around all these commands. Yeah. Put the folder, put the project directly inside VS Code, and that's all. Yes, yes. So, last one. Are you not asking? Go ahead. Okay, UI UX. UI UX guy are more on design, like sketching, while software engineers focus more on what? Coding. Because it's not every computer that can. This guy is a UI UX. You can craft an application beautiful for you working, but it's not functioning. It's just what? A dummy, right? But coding will be the engineers to do it. They create the wireframe. They create the beautiful structure. No, you don't have to. Just focus on the what? The general purpose knowledge, which is what? Full stack engineer. Do the what? Front, do the back. Where? Okay, what I will do for you guys, now listen, listen. Now, what I'll do is, this is a promise. I'm going to upload two videos. One video is a summary of what we've done today. Then the second video on, a lot of students have sent me an email that their Python is not working. So I will send a video guide on how they can address these kind of problems. I've received almost 10 to 15 emails. So I'll upload the video before our next class. Thank you very much.